everybody, welcome back to my habitat. Andrew here, and I'm doing my first foraging video for you guys, and we're talking about serviceberries or juneberry. We're going to start off by going through some defining features of the plant. It is a very easy plant to recognize, and I don't believe there's many lookalikes, but if you know of any, put it down in the comments. Identifying the serviceberry or saskatoon berry, whatever you would like to call it, it goes by many names. Number one is the shape of the bush or small tree. It's either going to be a large shrub formation, as we have here in these bushes, or it can be limbed up to look more like a tree. Other defining features is the bark. It's usually a smooth gray bark. As you can see, we'll put a little side up here. And you'll notice that it's not just one trunk coming from the base. Usually it's a multi-trunked bush or shrub. And the leaves, as you see, they're oval shaped with a single vein coming down the middle and then other veins coming out from the main vein. Now you also notice they don't Y out very often, and there's also kind of a prickly edge on the leaves, slightly cut. Now let's talk about these berries. Okay, so you can tell they're very blueberry-esque, maybe a little bit more round, but they range from anywhere from these reddish pinks to a deep purple. Like that one's a bit more of a deep purple, and they get even darker than this. Before harvesting, what should you know? Okay, number one, you should know if the area that you're harvesting from has been sprayed with any sort of pesticides. Even if they're beside a roadside, you're gonna not wanna pick those, or if you feel comfortable picking them, you're gonna wanna make sure you wash them very, very well. These are in a park. I know this park hasn't been sprayed, and we're luckily not close to any roads. The closest road is about 30 feet that way. So I think I'm pretty safe and in the clear here. Number two, make sure you're only picking serviceberries. They do grow in clumps, so sometimes other shrubs can grow in with the serviceberries. So you could be picking, but heck, right here, there is another type of berry. Yes, these do look very different, so I'm sure you wouldn't have a trouble in this instance. But if it's another red berry, sometimes if you're a little bit mindless, I know I can get a little mindless while picking a lot of berries. You want to just be making sure that you're picking the same fruit from the same shrub, and that you're kind of re-identifying the plant each time. You just want to be mindful of what you're picking. Okay. For whenever you're actually harvesting the fruit, you're going to want to pick the fruit that is pretty much the darkest on the plant. You're not going to want to pick leave anything that's dried, or if you see any bruising on the fruit or healed spots, I always leave that. You know, you don't know if a critter has gone in there, so I leave those. And it's also a good thing to note that I have a few of these bags that I brought to harvest, and I'm not filling these bags. I'm only going to put about a pint in each one because these berries are very, very delicate. They're easily bruised and easily squished, so I always make sure to not put a lot of pressure on them. So putting them, I find, in some sort of bag or in a little container works really, really well. It's like, what else are you going to harvest in? Right. And the nice thing is that these berries are super easy to harvest. They basically fall off of the tree whenever they're ripe, making them really easy to harvest and really great for beginners. Okay, I have about 2 bushels full here. I'm gonna take them home, give them a good rinse under cold water, and then I'm gonna let them soak in some cool water with a little bit of vinegar thrown in. And I'm gonna let them sit for about 15 minutes before rinsing them again. Yeah, so really easy. You're just pretty much cleaning berries. One thing to note is if you're gonna keep them in the fridge, they only last about 3 days. They have a very short refrigerator life. And after you wash them, you need to make sure they're dry before putting them in the fridge. But I usually kind of dry them off a little bit, and then I lay them flat on a cookie sheet and put them into my freezer and let them freeze. And I'll use them in all of my baked goods. So anywhere where you would use a blueberry is where I use these frozen. So I'll take the frozen, throw them in pancake batter to make blueberry pancakes. But in this case, serviceberry pancakes. I also just made serviceberry muffins last night with some frozen ones that I did last week. Oh my god, are they good. So they kind of have like a blueberry cherry flavor, but I notice a lot of like an almond aftertaste with the berries, which I love. I'm a big fan of almond. Yeah, so I hope you guys learned something today, and I hope you guys go out and look for a serviceberry near you and harvest them, because they don't last long, especially with the birds. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time, stay harvesting.